Geneva 2041. Alina sits very still. Her readout spikes, the monitor freezes. A quantum collapse event inside a human thought. The quantum leap. Today, we trace 30 years toward that moment. The paper that made this possible was published in 1994. Almost nobody believed it. That is the story. Here at the Quantum Leap, we track these convergences. 3 labs, 3 countries, 1 answer emerging. But first, what problem are we actually solving? Your brain fires a billion signals right now. Neuroscience maps every signal with millimeter precision. What it cannot explain, why any of it feels. David Chalmers named it in 1995, the hard problem. Why does anything feel like anything at all? Classical neuroscience built maps, consciousness escaped them. Inside neurons, hollow tubes called microtubules. For decades, neuroscience ignored them entirely. Just scaffolding, said the textbooks, cell skeleton only. An anesthesiologist in Arizona disagreed, quietly at first. Dr. Stuart Hameroff spent 50 years studying microtubules. Watching anesthesia switch off consciousness, exact, sudden, total. No gradual fading, a threshold crossed, then nothing. Hameroff suspected the microtubules were the switch. Meanwhile, in Oxford, Roger Penrose asked a different question. Can a computer think? No, Gödel proved that impossible. Penrose's 1989 book named it Emperor's New Mind. Physics establishment, he's lost his mind, literally. But Hameroff read Penrose, something clicked. 1994. Penrose and Hameroff published Orch OR together. Now, let's look at what the science actually shows. Orch OR, Orchestrated Objective Reduction. The name matters. Orchestrated. Microtubules coordinate the quantum computation. Objective reduction. Gravity, not observation, collapses superposition. Each collapse, one discrete moment of conscious experience. Your thoughts literally sculpt spacetime at the Planck scale. The physics establishment had one objection: too warm. Too wet, too noisy. Quantum coherence cannot survive there. That objection held for 25 years. Then biology answered. Photosynthesis. Quantum coherence in warm, wet chloroplasts. The European robin uses quantum entanglement to navigate. Enzymes tunnel through quantum barriers. Life runs on quantum. Biology solved the warm-wet problem 2 billion years ago. When we read the Wellesley paper, we checked twice. Loop 1, Wellesley College, September 2024. Dr. Mike Wiest and an undergraduate team built the experiment. Epithelone B, a cancer drug, stabilizes microtubules precisely. They gave it to rats before administering anesthetic gas. Result: unconsciousness delayed by 69 seconds on average. 69 seconds, not 10, not 1, 69. What theory predicted exactly this? Only one, Orch OR. This study was peer-reviewed. Single experiment awaits replication. Promising, but the field calls for replication. Fair. Loop 2, Trinity College Dublin, 2022. Dr. Christian Kerskens, physicist, TCIN Neuroscience Institute. He adapted a quantum gravity detection method for the brain. Water proton spins in the brain, acting as quantum sensors. What the MRI found: signals resembling heartbeat-evoked potentials. Those signals correlated with short-term memory and awareness. When they fell asleep, the signals vanished entirely. The interpretation remains contested. That is honest science. Published in Journal of Physics Communications, peer-reviewed. Loop 3, Xenon Anesthetics and the Quantum Spin Test. Xenon 129 versus Xenon 131, chemically identical, quantum different. Xenon 129 with nuclear spin, weaker anesthetic than Xenon 131. Quantum mechanical property, not chemistry, affects consciousness. Published in Anesthesiology, 2018. Cited in every 2025 review. What strikes us? 3 completely independent methodologies. These look like separate experiments. They're measuring the same thing. All 3 point toward the same quantum substrate, Orch OR. Everything changes now. The paradigm is about to shift. Here is the paradigm shift. Consciousness is not computation. Consciousness is what the universe does when observing itself. The hard problem collapses. Consciousness is fundamental like gravity. Orch OR published 1994. Both fields said no. Roger Penrose, consciousness is not computable. Gödel proved it. Stuart Hameroff, anesthesia shuts consciousness off at microtubules. Their theory, consciousness arises from quantum events inside neurons. Between 2022 and 2026, 3 labs found supporting evidence. The dismissed theory may be the most important in science. What does Orch OR actually rewrite? Start with anesthesia. Anesthesia isn't slowing the brain. It cuts quantum threads. It interrupts quantum gravity collapse at the Planck scale. Now what happens at death? The gamma burst evidence. PNAS 2023. 4 cardiac arrest patients, organ donation withdrawal. 2 patients, unexpected gamma surge after the heart stopped. Duration, seconds to minutes. Location, temporoparieto-occipital junction. That region, out-of-body experience, sense of self, richest microtubules. What is the dying brain computing? We don't know yet. But what we do know, information doesn't simply vanish. July 2025. Frontiers in Human Neuroscience confirms the terahertz link. Anesthesia blocks consciousness at terahertz frequencies, in microtubules. The precise molecular scale where quantum effects operate. December 2025. The brain resonates with the quantum zero-point field. Kepler, consciousness tunes into a field filling all space. 2 patients' hearts stopped. Their brains fired harder. 2025. First biophotons detected from outside a living human skull. The signal appeared in the temporoparieto-occipital junction. That region, associated with out-of-body experience and self. It contains the brain's richest microtubule networks. The dying brain computes, nobody knows what. The AI question. It matters for the next 50 years. If Orch OR is correct, silicon cannot support consciousness. No quantum coherence in silicon. No microtubule collapse events. AI processes, computes, responds, but does not feel. Google's quantum AI has begun investigating this question. If they're right about consciousness, AI rights become moot. Not comfort, a boundary worth reasoning about carefully. April 2026. Consciousness may have a quantum heartbeat. Consciousness as a quantum clock, ticking at Planck time. What does all this mean for how we live? If consciousness is fundamental, death is not information loss. Hameroff calls it quantum soul, a loaded term, honest term. We note this hypothesis lacks direct experimental proof. What the data does show, quantum events correlate with consciousness. That correlation, 30 years of dismissal hasn't erased it. The Science of Consciousness Conference, Barcelona, July 2025. Hameroff chaired the session, Is Consciousness Fundamental? The field is shifting, not consensus trajectory. The microtubule orchestra, that metaphor is precise, not poetic. Thousands of microtubules per neuron, billions of neurons per brain. Each collapse one note, altogether a symphony. That symphony your thought, your experience, your now. 2041. Elena is still sitting, the readout still runs. The researcher watches the quantum collapse event trace on screen. She pulls up the original paper, Penrose and Hameroff, 1994. Penrose used the word threshold. She has thought about it. In one version of 2050, consciousness research transforms medicine. Alzheimer's disease, a microtubule failure disease, we can target it. In another version, this research stays contested. Progress is slow. The fork is real. Replication funding determines which world arrives. The 2025 Oxford Neuroscience of Consciousness Synthesis. Read it. Wiest's 2025 paper synthesizes all convergent evidence. One author. He also solves the binding problem and epiphenomenalism. The binding problem. Why does separate brain activity feel unified? Orch OR. Quantum entanglement across microtubules creates unity. Not proven consensus. This is where the frontier lives. What we built to understand the brain looked back. The question that started with Aristotle may have an answer. Not from philosophy, from a physics paper about space-time geometry. From an anesthesiologist who watched consciousness switch off and wondered. In 2041, Elena opens her eyes. The readout saved everything. The researcher closes the monitor. The paper was right. She doesn't know if this is memory or something older. Microtubules in the brain. Quantum computing since the Cambrian explosion. 540 million years. Consciousness may predate multicellular life. If true, consciousness predates every late invention we know. The framework. Watch for 3 convergent signals in coming years. 1. Independent replication of the Wellesley anesthesia result. 2. Direct quantum state measurement inside living neurons. 3. Does quantum computing get us closer to consciousness modeling? We built a machine to understand the brain. The deeper we looked, the brain looked back. What do you think? Which field delivers the answer first? Leave your prediction below. We track these convergences. Next week, when quantum computing met climate science.